What is going on, guys, and welcome back to Baker's DIY Lifestyle. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about what you need to do if your yard is starting to look kind of like this. And I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can see it down here. But if your yard has all of this starting to come into it. So there's a few different ways you can combat this, but I really want to get down to what the root cause of this problem is, how you can combat it, how you can make it a little bit better, and ways that you can get all of this extra grass off your yard, even if you don't have a bagger or some way to actually physically pick that grass up off of the ground. So we're just going to kind of go through all of those different scenarios. I'm going to talk about it as I'm mowing today, and hopefully you guys will learn something. And of course, as always, if you do like this video, if you like the content, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because I will continue to put out these do-it-yourself and how-to videos to make every part of your house look a little bit better every time you work on it. So with that, I'm gonna put the camera down and I'm just gonna start mowing. Hope you guys enjoy the video. All right, guys, so of course, the very first way that you can get all of the dead grass off your lawn is to go ahead and get a bagger on your mower. If you have a push mower or a riding mower like this one with a bagger, obviously you can go ahead and bag everything up, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. I despise bagging with the riding mower, and my yard's too big to use a push mower because it would fill up every couple passes. But these things clog up and they're aggravating, so this is my absolute last resort to getting a lot of thatch or dead grass up off of the lawn. So again, this is something, if you like it, if you have one, you can go ahead and use it. But what you're seeing now is definitely my preferred method, and it's the easiest method, and honestly it's the way we should all be mowing our lawns anyway. We should be mowing frequently enough that the grass doesn't get too long and create those extra long blades that take forever to break down. So what I'm doing right here is changing my mowing pattern. So that is another way that you can kind of help spread out some of the grass, is to change your mowing pattern every single week, and that'll blow the grass in different directions every time you mow. Again, that'll just help spread everything out. And if you're still getting some clumping, you can resort to this method here, which is actually one of my more favorite methods whenever I'm like first starting and trying to spread everything out, is to go ahead and mow and then take out your blower and just spread it out. But with that, the backyard is looking really good. We got it mowed down to 2.5 inches. And honestly, it's not growing as fast as the fescue. Which, honestly, it doesn't hurt my feelings since I am mowing it so short. It gives me a little bit more, it gives me just a little bit more forgiveness on that lower mowing height. And overall, I'm super excited to see what this looks like in the fall, this year being the second full year of actually treating this Kentucky bluegrass. But with that, I'm gonna run inside because I finished right before the rain started coming down. And honestly, I just don't wanna get super wet. All right, guys, so we're back out here. I just got done with my mowing day and I'm finishing up with my lawn here. And today it has only been 2 days since the last part that you just saw me mow. So I'm gonna go back across the yard and kind of show you how just your frequency will clean up the yard. So of course you saw just a second ago how there were still some clumps of grass on the ground. It was a little more spread out than it was when we originally started, but hopefully this time we'll be able to clean it up completely and really smooth it out and get back into a good rhythm. So the biggest thing about thatch and mowing frequency is the shorter those little cut off pieces are, the quicker they can decompose. So since it's only been 2 days, we're not really going to be adding anything to the thatch that's already here, and hopefully the thatch that is there, we're going to suck it up, spread it out even more across the lawn, and just get rid of all the clumps. Hopefully, as you've learned through this video, you don't want any clumping, you really don't want any piles anywhere, and as long as you can spread it out, typically you're okay and you'll be perfectly fine. As long as you pick up that frequency, the yard will clean up and you will look good for the rest of the year. I'm gonna set the camera down. I'm gonna mow it a different direction. So I'm actually gonna mow perfectly straight, which I don't think I've done all year. So I'd say it's time for a little bit of a change up, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, guys, so I don't know how well it'll show up, so I'm gonna try to show it right here. But you can see kind of this quarter circle right here where the ground is browner. So that little section right there that's making that quarter turn, that is where the grass was super, super thick. And you can tell in this section here and along that back edge right here against the road, you can tell that the grass looks super green, and that's because a lot of that dead grass blew off and got out of the way. So as long as I do this a couple more times, hopefully mowing every 2 or 3 days, the rest of the yard will catch up to that. But before I go to the backyard, I want to pan in just a little bit right here. So you can see this is the spot that was green, where the grass is mostly feathered out, and you can probably still see some of the cut grass that's on top, but it's not nearly as thick as like this. So we still have some clumping that's coming around, but luckily it's all spread out. You know, there's a few spots where it's clumped up like that, but you can see it's really just kind of a haze across the top of the grass now, which still isn't great, but it is a heck of a lot better than having those big nasty balls that are just like clumped all over the yard that'll kill the grass. So right now I'm pretty happy with the front yard. I think it looks good, and as long as I keep up with that mowing every couple days, hopefully 2 to 3 days, just to catch back up, keep the clippings really small, let the rest of it decompose as we go through the next couple weeks, that'll clean up. But if you do want it to be a little bit faster, of course you can always pull out the rake or pull out the blower and try to dispense that stuff even more, or just pick it up off the ground altogether. But with that, I'm going to go to the backyard and we'll start mowing it. All right guys, so that is it for the backyard this week, and it's looking really nice despite all of the weeds that I really need to tackle this year. But the Kentucky bluegrass is starting to grow, and you can tell it's spreading into some of the empty areas in the yard, but there is a ton of weed cover that's kind of slowing everything down. So I definitely want to get out here to spray, and hopefully I'm going to have some time. But all next week is supposed to be rain almost every day, and we are closing in right on Easter weekend, so it's almost time to get our next application of fertilizer down into the ground. So I want to be ready to spray and kill all the weeds and strengthen the grass and give it as much room to expand as possible. But down here, probably since the grass is so short, it's easier for it to disperse whenever we're mowing. I do have a little bit of cover across the top of the lawn from the dead grass, but I don't have any clumping or any like super dense spots of dead grass in the Kentucky bluegrass, which is a good thing since I am mowing it at 2.5 inches. Because if it were to get out of hand like the front yard, it would be even harder to get rid of that grass, just because there's nowhere for the grass to fall down into the canopy. But overall, as of right now, I'm super happy with the fescue and the Kentucky bluegrass. I wish the bluegrass was spread out just a little bit more than what it is, but with the crazy past year we've had, I'm super happy with where we're at. And I know that with just a little bit more work this year, I can get rid of the weeds, get the bluegrass filled in, and make the entire yard nice and thick and super dark green. But with that, I hope you guys learned something in this video. And if you did, please be sure to hit the like button and definitely subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more do-it-yourself or how-to content. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.